Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about something that can literally make or break your Amazon business, product quality. If you get this right, you're on your way to a thriving business. But if you get it wrong, well, you're going to be spending all your time putting out fires. Okay, let's jump right in.
Okay, I know this might sound a little dramatic, but just think about it for a second. A customer buys a cool toy car. The doors are supposed to open and close. A kid plays with it and bam, a door falls right off. That one tiny little defect can kick off a whole chain reaction, a return, a nasty review, and a little crack in your customer's trust. And when that happens again and again, yeah, it can absolutely break a business.
So what exactly is a defective product, at least in Amazon's eyes? Well, it's pretty simple, really. It's any product that doesn't do what you said it would do, shows up with pieces missing, or just quits working after someone's used it normally for a little while. This is the official definition we're working with.
And look, the stakes here they're incredibly high. We're not just talking about losing the money from one sale. Defective products create this domino effect of problems. You get more returns to deal with, your account health score takes a hit, and in really bad cases, Amazon might just pull your listing entirely. They could even deactivate your whole account. But honestly, the biggest cost is losing that customer trust, because that is the hardest thing to ever get back.
So how do you fight back against all this? Well, you've got to put on your detective hat. It's not enough to just process a return and move on. You have to investigate what went wrong and find the root cause. This is how you stop just reacting to problems and start preventing them in the first place.
And you know what? Every good detective needs their toolkit, and you've got a pretty powerful one right at your fingertips. The clues are all hiding in plain sight. They're in your buyer messages, where you get the raw, unfiltered feedback. They're in your product reviews, your A to Z claims, and your return comments. But the real secret weapon? The voice of the customer dashboard. That's where all this data comes together and really tells you the story of what's going on.
And this right here, this is how you connect the dots. A customer complaint isn't just a complaint, it's a vital piece of evidence. If you start seeing a pattern, like a whole bunch of customers saying the same thing failed in 2 weeks, you can translate that feedback into a real solvable problem, like, hey, maybe we need to find better parts, or we really need to improve our testing process.
You know, as you start digging into this stuff, you're going to notice that the same old culprits keep popping up over and over again. So let's run through a quick lineup of the usual suspects. These are the most common defects and what's typically causing them.
First up in our lineup, the item that's just dead on arrival. It doesn't work right out of the box. The root cause here could be anything from a bad product design from the get-go, a total lack of quality checks at the factory, or maybe it just got banged up and broken on its way to the customer.
Just imagine this, right? A customer gets a brand new mixer, they're all excited to use it, they plug it in, and absolutely nothing. Your job as the detective is to figure out why. Was it a faulty wire that nobody caught? Or did it get dropped somewhere in transit? Finding that answer is everything.
All right, our next suspect is, honestly, maybe even more frustrating for a customer. The product that works, but only for a little while. This is that classic premature failure. It's usually caused by someone trying to cut corners with cheap parts, not stress testing the product enough, or just not giving the customer clear instructions on how to take care of it.
Let's take this power bank, for example. For 10 whole days, your customer is happy, right? They're using it, it's great. Then, kaput, it's dead. This doesn't just disappoint them, it completely shatters their trust. Now they feel ripped off, and you can bet they're way more likely to leave a very, very detailed negative review about it.
And then there's the missing parts problem. This one is so frustrating because the main product itself is probably totally fine, but it's been made useless because of one little mistake. This almost always points to a weak spot in your packaging system or your final quality checks.
And that's the thing, right? The customer has this perfectly good tripod, but without those tiny, cheap little screws, it's basically just a pile of junk. This is the kind of defect that is almost always preventable if you just have better processes in place.
Okay, now let's talk about a totally different kind of defect, one that isn't even physical. In this case, the product works just fine, but it doesn't work for that customer because your listing gave them the wrong idea. The problem isn't with the product, it's with the information you provided.
This phone charger is the perfect example. You say supports all phones, and you've just made a promise that your product can't actually keep. The customer believed that promise, they bought it, and now they're sending it back. Not because it's broken, but because they feel like you misled them. Accuracy in your listings is non-negotiable.
Okay, so we've investigated the crime scenes, we've identified the usual suspects,
now it's time to build our defense. Let's go through the prevention playbook. These are the best practices that will shield your listings, protect your account, and really your whole business.
So your very first line of defense is your product listing itself. Your number one goal here is to set expectations that are crystal clear and 100% accurate. That means being totally honest about the features, being super specific about compatibility, using pictures that show the real product, and please always double check that you're listing against the correct ASIN. It sounds basic, but getting this right will prevent so many problems down the road.
And just look at this example. It shows you the power of being super specific. Fits all laptops is this vague promise that's just asking for returns. But fits laptops up to 15.6 inches? That's a hard fact. It helps the right person buy with confidence, and it helps the wrong person avoid making a mistake. It's a win for everyone.
Okay, next up is your actual physical process. This is all about making sure the product that leaves your hands is absolutely perfect. This means doing regular quality checks, using packaging that's strong enough to survive shipping, and making sure those tiny little tripod screws are sealed up tight. And please, this is a big one. Never ever let a defective return get mixed back into your good inventory. The last thing you want is that same broken item causing the exact same problem for another customer.
So, you've built up your defenses, which is great, but the game's not over. The best businesses don't just set up a system and walk away. They're constantly monitoring it. This is how you catch a brand new problem before it blows up into a crisis.
And this, my friends, brings us right back to your superpower, the voice of the customer dashboard. This isn't just a tool for playing detective when things go wrong. It's your early warning system. You should make checking this dashboard a regular part of your weekly routine.
Seriously, this dashboard is a total game changer. It lets you see, at a glance, which of your listings are getting bad feedback. You can read the exact comments your customers are leaving, and, most importantly, you can jump in and fix the listing or investigate the product before the problem gets big enough to hurt your account health.
So after all this work, what's the big payoff? Well, trust me, it's huge. You're going to see fewer returns, which saves you a ton of time and money. Your account health is going to be way more secure, which protects you from things like suspensions. And the big one, you'll be building a brand that people actually trust, and that is the absolute best foundation for long-term success.
So I'm going to leave you with the question to really think about. Based on everything we just talked about, what is the one single thing you can do this week to prevent a defect? Maybe it's just rewriting a listing description to be clearer. Maybe it's improving the packaging for one specific item. Or maybe it's scheduling a new quality check. Whatever it is, start there. That one small fix is how you start building a much, much stronger business.